નમસ્કાર. માનનીય મહાનુભાવ, ભારત સરકાર અને ગુજરાત સરકારના વરિષ્ઠ અધિકારશ્રીઓ, કૃષિ ઉદ્યોગપતિઓ, નીતિ નિર્માતાઓ, સ્ટાર્ટઅપ્સ, આમંત્રિત મહેમાનો, પ્રતિષ્ઠિત વક્તાઓ, પ્રગતિશીલ ખેડૂત ભાઈઓ અને બહેનો, ગુજરાત સરકાર દ્વારા આયોજિત ઉત્તર ગુજરાત ક્ષેત્રની પ્રથમ વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત 2025 રિજનલ કોન્ફરન્સમાં આપ સૌનું હાર્દિક સ્વાગત કરીએ છીએ. વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત રિજનલ કોન્ફરન્સ અંતર્ગત ગુજરાત સરકારના કૃષિ, ખેડૂત કલ્યાણ અને સહકાર વિભાગ દ્વારા એગ્રો અને ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગ વિષયક વિવિધ સેમિનારોનું આયોજન કરવામાં આવ્યું છે. આ સેશન દરમિયાન આપણે વાત કરીશું સોઇલ ટુ શેલ્ફ, ઇન્ટિગ્રેટિંગ સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી એન્ડ પ્રોફિટેબિલિટી અક્રોસ ધ વેલ્યુ ચેઇન, એટલે કે ખેતીથી લઈને વેચાણ સુધીની સમગ્ર મૂલ્ય શૃંખલામાં ટકાઉપણું અને નફાકારકતાનું એકાકીકરણ. સ્ટેજ ઉપર આપણે મહાનુભાવોનું સ્વાગત કરીશું. ગુજરાત સરકારના કૃષિ, ખેડૂત કલ્યાણ અને સહકારી વિભાગના અધિક મુખ્ય સચિવ ડૉક્ટર અંજુ શર્મા આઈએએસને તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી આવકારીશું. અપેડાના ચેરમેન શ્રી અભિષેક દેવ આઈએએસને તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી આવકારીશું. ડિરેક્ટર જનરલ ઇન્ટરનેશનલ પોટેટો સેન્ટર મિસ્ટર સાયમન હેકને તાળીઓના ગડગડાટની સાથે આવકારીશું. શ્રી સચિન શર્મા, વાઇસ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ એગ્રી બિઝનેસ આઈટીસીને તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી આવકારીશું. મંચસ્થ સર્વે મહાનુભાવો માટે એકવાર જોરદાર તાળીઓ થઈ જાય. વિધિસર સ્વાગતની વિધિ આરંભીશું. ગુજરાત એગ્રો ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીઝ કોર્પોરેશન ગુજરાત રાજ્યના મેનેજિંગ ડિરેક્ટર શ્રી વિજયભાઈ ખરાડી આઈએએસને વિનંતી કરીએ છીએ ડૉક્ટર અંજુ શર્મા અધિક મુખ્ય સચિવ શ્રીનું સ્વાગત સત્કાર કરવા માટે. ગુજરાત સરકારના કૃષિ, ખેડૂત કલ્યાણ અને સહકારી વિભાગના અધિક મુખ્ય સચિવ ડૉક્ટર અંજુ શર્મા આઈએએસને શાબ્દિક સ્વાગત કરવા અને પ્રોગ્રામની રૂપરેખા વર્ણવવા તાળીઓના ગડગડાટની સાથે આવકારીએ.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our Honorable Minister, Shri Raghavji Bhai Patel, will be joining soon. There is some video conference that he is attending. Honorable dignitaries, esteemed guests, industry leaders, progressive farmers, researchers, and all participants. Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a pleasure today to welcome you all in this seminar, Soil to Shelf, Integrating Sustainability and Profitability Across the Value Chain. As you all know, it is very important that what the farmer grows, it should reach to the consumer. And that's why we are exploring very deeply this idea of soil to shelf across the value chain in this seminar. This theme resonates deeply with our collective vision for a resilient, inclusive, and future-ready agriculture ecosystem, one that not only nurtures our soil, but also empowers our farmers and entrepreneurs both to thrive in a competitive global marketplace. North Gujarat, as you all know, with its unique agroclimatic conditions, entrepreneurial spirit, and rich tradition of farming innovation, stands as an ideal of all these opportunities, and we all are aware how rich this area is in potato, spices, and all other farm produce, including fruits and vegetables. From groundnut and cumin to dairy and horticulture, This region has consistently demonstrated how agriculture can be both sustainable and profitable when supported by the right policies, technologies, partnerships, and the ecosystem. I'm pleased to share that under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Bhupendra Patel, the Government of Gujarat has initiated a transformative campaign aimed at enhancing agricultural productivity, promoting farmer self-reliance, and fostering indigenous produce through advanced and sustainable farming practices, and for which the department offers a large number of schemes. Today's seminar is a timely platform to explore how we can strengthen every link in the agri-value chain, from soil health and water efficiency to post-harvest management, value addition, logistics, and market access. It's also an opportunity to align our efforts with the Viksit Gujarat at the rate 2047 vision, ensuring that agriculture remains a cornerstone of our economic and social development. For the benefit of the audience and all the collaborators, we have curated a very bright and exciting team of speakers who are experts in their areas. And I look forward to their insights, innovations, and great ideas, and also the collaborations that will emerge from today's discussion. Let's work together to make Gujarat a model for integrated, sustainable, and profitable agriculture from soil to shelf. Once again, welcome to this important dialogue. Let us sow the seeds of innovation, nurture them with collaboration, and harvest a future that is green, inclusive, and prosperous. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for setting the tone of the session. I now invite and request Shri Abhishek Dev, IAS, Chairman, Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, to deliver his presentation on potential of agriculture exports from Gujarat.
Dr. Anju Sharma, ACS Agriculture, Farmers Welfare and Cooperative Department, Mr. Simon Heck, International Potato Center, Mr. Sachin Sharma, Vice President Agri ITC, and all the delegates, farmers, startups who are in the agri value, also in the agri exports. First of all, I would like to thank the government of Gujarat for inviting me to the Vibrant Gujarat. Is one of India's marquee event for the overall industrial and agri development of the state. Agricultural exports are a very important component of India's overall exports, and as per last year's estimates, they were around 11% of India's exports. If we see last year's figures, the overall agricultural exports from India were close to around $52 billion, and we have a rank of 7th in the overall world agricultural export standings. But our share in the overall exports is around 2.5%, and there is a lot of scope to increase the exports further. If we see APIDA, our scheduled products are around 54% of India's agricultural exports, and last year the exports of APIDA scheduled products was around 28.5%, with a growth of around 11.4%. Coming to Gujarat and the export potential from Gujarat, there are endless possibilities and limitless potential. If we see that, if you see the statistics, Gujarat is first in terms of the production of groundnuts, third in production of onion, fourth in production of tomato and potato products, fifth in nutri and core cereals, and all the regions of Gujarat, be it the north region, it is well known, renowned for isabgol, castor, potato. The Kutch and Saurashtra region is renowned for date palm, pomegranates, mangoes, peanuts, onions. Central Gujarat is the epicenter for dairy products, wheat. South Gujarat is very famous for banana, rice. So you name it, across all the regions, almost all the key agricultural and horticultural products are produced in Gujarat. Even the very emerging area, which is very important for us, is the organic production and also the organic exports. So in terms of area under organic, Gujarat is fourth, and also in terms of production, Gujarat is also in fourth rank. But in terms of exports in organic products, Gujarat is second largest. So in all the conventional, even if you say the conventional agricultural exports or in the organic agricultural exports, Gujarat is a leader. And given that we are setting very ambitious targets for increasing our agricultural exports, it is a focus area for Department of Commerce, and it is very important that the leader states like Gujarat grow at a much higher level than the average to really propel us to our export targets. So about APIDA specifically, and then I'll come to how we can collaborate with the state and what we are doing to take it forward. So APIDA is the secretariat for the National Program for Organic Production, which is India's export standard for organic exports. And organic exports, if you see, like I said, we are the largest in terms of the organic land, largest in terms of the organic producers, second in terms of the organic land, and we had an export of US dollar 666 million last year. And we are setting ourselves a very ambitious target of taking forward this goal of 666 million to around 20,000, which translates to around 5,300 crores to around 20,000 crores, or 2.4 billion in the coming 5 years. So Gujarat, like I said, has a very good base of organic production, and a very good number of certification bodies are there, so a certification system is there. And the products of Gujarat, like psyllium husk, castor, groundnuts, all these products, millets, organic millets, have a very good market abroad. So there is a lot of possibility to take it forward. Apart from that, in terms of the, if you say that logistics has been something which the government is working on to improve, to propel the agricultural exports forward, because we all know that many of our products are perishable in nature, and due to the time it takes to take from the hinterland to the ports, there is a loss in quality in terms of the overall value of the product. So Gujarat is very well poised in terms of that. The major ports, all the major ports are located here, and Gujarat is a gateway to all the major importing countries of the world. So there is a lot of potential and possibilities in that. And apart from the fresh products, there is limitless possibilities in terms of the processed food exports. So it is very well thought out that we have the leaders from the potato sector who are here. Gujarat has all the key it is not only the largest producer of one of the largest producers of potatoes in India, but has a very good ecosystem of all the major processing units which are located close to Mehsana. And even though India is the second largest producer of potatoes in the world, but in terms of exports, there is a lot of steps we have to take to increase the exports, and it is a very timely move that we are getting the collaborations from the international players to take it forward. Groundnuts is another area which we feel that is very important for Gujarat. We are the second largest exporter of groundnut in the world, and we are exporting groundnuts to virtually all the countries in the world. And one of the topics which is coming up is on quality. So it is very important that we work in improving the quality of the exports, and it's very heartening that we are getting very good collaborative support from the government of Gujarat to improve the quality of the groundnut exports, to take it further. From our side, from APIDA's side, we are working on ensuring that the farmers, the stakeholders in the export value chain are all working together. We are organizing a series of training and capacity building sessions in peanuts, for peanut processing units, for peanut farmers. All of this is taking place in a very intensive manner, and we are also working on disseminating the good agricultural practices for our farmers. A very important thing which has taken place recently, as you must all be aware, is that India has signed free trade agreements with the United Kingdom and with the European Free Trade Association, EFTA. And there are a lot of possibilities on furthering our agricultural exports post these FTAs, especially in the UK market, which is a significant market of US dollar 88 billion, virtually for the processed food products, which is a major area of interest to Gujarat, has now become duty free. So we are at par with the EU, and also with the EU, which has duty free access in the in the UK market. But now we have good competitive position vis-a-vis the other agricultural exporters in the UK market. So there is a lot of potential to increase our processed food exports in the UK market post the FTA, and a very good possibility to for Gujarat to leverage its leadership in that. Similarly, in the EFTA countries, particularly in Norway and Switzerland, there is a very high possibility to take the exports forward, because the base of our current exports is quite less given the market size. So the potential is very high. We are working on all the fronts, be it the conventional agriculture, be it the organic agriculture, working with the stakeholders to further improve the logistics, working with the farmers, exporters, processors, to ensure that the quality is there, they achieve the certifications which are required for exports, and also at the last mile, the farmers are well trained on the good agricultural practices. Recently, APIDA has launched a very good initiative, Bharati, for the acceleration of the startups which are in the agriculture and the agri-tech space. And we are targeting to accelerate 100 plus agri startups in this current financial year. And we have tie-up with global international chains. Whichever are the successful startups which qualify in our initiative will get a chance to showcase their products in the international supermarkets. So from this platform, I also invite all the startups to collaborate with APIDA in our Bharati initiative, and to take the export ecosystem forward. And once again, I would like to thank the government of Gujarat for calling APIDA, for making us a partner in this marquee event, which is conceptualized by our Honorable Prime Minister, and we need to take forward his goal of making India as the food basket of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the insightful information. Now I request
ગુજરાતી ઇન્ટરપ્રિટેશન આમાં અવેલેબલ છે, એટલે જેને ગુજરાતી ઇન્ટરપ્રિટેશન જોતું હોય લગાવીને ચેનલ 2 પર સાંભળી શકે છે.
Now I would like to request and invite Mr. Simon Hack, Director General, International Potato Center, to deliver his presentation on harnessing the power of potato, innovations for a resilient and inclusive agri-value chain. Let's have a round of applause and welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting the International Potato Center to be part of your conference. And congratulations to the government and the people of Gujarat on launching a new economic plan that, as I could not miss this morning in the video, did feature the potato. That has indeed become a feature, a permanent feature, a value and asset to the economy of Gujarat. Both the farmers as well as the statewide economy has greatly benefited and will continue to benefit from investments in the potato sector. I'm here to give you a bit of a perspective on that from the perspective of the International Potato Center, a global research center headquartered in Peru, the home of the potato, where 8,000 years ago, farmers in the high Andes Mountains for the first time domesticated root crops that then over the centuries have become potato and that arrived here in India about 400 years ago. If you look, however, today, potato has become truly an Asian crop. 58% of the world's potatoes are grown and consumed in Asia. And within Asia, it's becoming more and more tropical crop with huge implications, as you will imagine, for the genetics, for the production systems, as well as for the marketing. India has become the world's second largest producers of potato, now yielding about 60 million tons a year, second only to China. But what you see on this graph is while China is stagnating, even coming back a bit, India continues to grow at 3 to 5% a year, which at that level of production is really enormous. One thing to be aware of and perhaps concerned about is that growth has come mainly through area expansion, right? More and more land under potato also means more and more water being used for potato, more and more labor, more and more inputs. And the question is, at what point does net growth needs to come more from the productivity increases? And what's the role of science and technology in that? Having spoken about productivity, it is growing incrementally. You see here we are at about close to 26 tons a hectare in India overall. That is quite ahead of China and even ahead of the global average. The global average is heavily affected by the China low productivity. What we do know from economies in other regions such as Europe and North America, potato yields, including varieties grown here, can yield up to 40 tons quite easily with the right kind of management, the right kind of quality in the seed sector. Within India, as you see on this map on the right-hand side, it's the northern part of the country where most potatoes are produced, with Uttar Pradesh by far the largest in terms of quantity. However, not all potatoes are equal, right? The potatoes from Gujarat are of a particular quality and they are more suitable for processing, more suitable for exports, and hence, have created greater economic value than potato in other parts of India. If you look at those orange squares on the right-hand side, you see that in terms of what we call chip grade, right, that's the crisps, or French fry grade, it's still a small share of overall production that has that quality, but that share is growing and it's growing faster and projected to grow faster by 11% or 4.5%. Compared to the overall yields. Now, what's really important for Gujarat in that context, that growth of the higher quality potato comes mostly from Gujarat, right? Unlike other states in India, Gujarat today already has a share of 25 to 35% of its total potato production being that processing quality. Nationally, that's only 5 to 7%. So you can see the particular quality of Gujarat's potato sector. And that's based on both the natural conditions, and I think the chairman mentioned that already, right? It's the temperatures, it's the seasonality of Gujarat that allows potatoes to accumulate sugars and starch in a different way and than in other states. That particular advantage has propelled Gujarat to be India's #1 in terms of potato processing and potato exports. Now, looking into the future, again, as scientists, we're always trying to anticipate what are potential risks. Climate change is a big factor in that. As temperatures become hotter in Gujarat, that strategic advantage in terms of growing conditions for processing potato is at risk. Temperatures now become too high and the growing season too short to safeguard this particular quality unless we do something about it, and that means unless we develop varieties, right, that with a shorter maturation period that can also respond better to the hot temperatures so that economic strategic advantage of the potatoes in Gujarat can be safeguarded into the future. And it's not so much that they can still outcompete other states. All of India will benefit from that, right? All of India benefits from Gujarat's potato industry. Many of the world's leading potato companies have started to invest in India. Their entry point is Gujarat for the benefit of all of India. Looking again at the more, let's say, the ongoing challenges and also the type of constraints that will need to be overcome to increase productivity. A lot of it has to do with the seed quality. That's a bit more difficult to handle than, let's say, for grains and legumes. But technologies and practices are now available, and our organization is working closely with Indian organizations like ICAR to then also adjust and customize that to states such as Gujarat, so we can expect better access for Gujarati farmers to high-quality seed potato. We are also looking at addressing the post-harvest losses, which are still at a shocking 30 to 40% overall. That's lower in kind of contract farming, where companies are already the off-takers of the production, but all the farmers in Gujarat need to get the best economic return for their effort, we believe, and we want to adapt globally available innovations and technologies to that. Similarly, when we look at the sustainable production system, in particular water use efficiency, the kind of irrigation innovations that Gujarat is known for from other commodities also need to apply to potato, and that will also help then expand that seasonal window to ease some of those price volatilities that the potato sector in India overall is suffering from. Right, we have, as you will expect at the university campus, right, we are a research organization, so we have quite a systematic approach to addressing these challenges that move in the spirit of this session from soil to shelf and beyond the shelf, also then onto the plate. And often I think as we go here from left to right, the markets, of course, work the opposite way, right? The markets work really from the consumers to the producers and then also to the natural environment. Without going through all these details here, we work, as I said, with ICAR, with agricultural universities throughout India to address variety development of better and more adapted potato varieties, improving the seed system and water use efficiency and soil health during production. That includes integration with rice systems in other states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, as also with legume systems that has a number of benefits, including carbon emission reduction, as well as improved soil health, reducing soil temperatures, etc. And we work in the market at addressing the food loss and food waste that is quite heavy in the in the root and tuber crops. We have therefore developed a number of research packages and programs that are being implemented now, touching on all those stages between soil and shelf. And we try to map these onto the particular priorities of states like Gujarat. Our organization has been working in India for 50 years. Gujarat has not been much in focus, and that's one of my motivations to come here for the first time to Gujarat, is also to have a dialogue around which of these research and innovation areas are of particular importance and what is the state of affairs here in Gujarat. One of the milestones for us this year on our 50th anniversary is the establishment of a new Science and Innovation Center for Potato and Root and Tuber Crop Research, funded and approved by Government of India. Honorable Prime Minister in the end of July and the Cabinet approved the establishment of the SIP South Asia Regional Center, or CSARC, in Agra district, Uttar Pradesh. It is a center for all of India and for all of South Asia. Think of it as a platform where national collaborators, both from the public sector, the university sector, and from the private sector, can meet and exchange and benefit from each other's experiences and technologies. The role of the International Potato Center is to manage this platform in partnership with Government of India and to make sure that the latest world-class innovations, the products, the methodologies, and the tools are available to all local collaborators in India, and we really look forward also having a very strong participation from Gujarat at this new center. With this, I would like to thank you again for inviting us. I know there is another session later this afternoon, a panel discussion with stakeholders from the potato sector more specifically. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simon. We are truly grateful for all your comprehensive overview. Now I request and invite Mr. Sachin Sharma, Vice President, Agribusiness ITC, to give his presentation on transforming agri-value chains from soil health to market access.
Namaskar. Dr. Sharma, ACS, Sri Abhishek Dev, Chairman of PIDA, Mr. Simon, and all the dignitaries. So first of all, I would like to thank government that they have invited ITC to share the experiences of working with different agri-value chains, right from farm to market. And when I talk about our experiences, these experiences are also of what we are doing in Gujarat is in general and also in North Gujarat in particular. So we are very well present in state, and I will cover that in the presentation. Sorry. So just an overview of ITC, since it is about the agri-value chain. So we handle almost 4 million tons of agri-commodities across more than 20 states, over 200 districts. Over 20 plus various agri-value chains we work with. There is significant export which we do to almost 80 to 90 plus countries in different years. And the value chains we are handling are cereal, pulses, oilseeds, spices, fruits and vegetables, coffee, aqua, milk, as well as medicinal plants. So before I touch upon that what ITC is specifically doing, let's look at about Indian agriculture, and like what Mr. Abhishek shared, that India has very notable achievements in agriculture through its production, self-sustainability, but there are various challenges also, and these challenges were also talked about by the speakers before. So we have 50% of our workforce is in agriculture, while the gross value addition is between 15 to 19%. We have very low share in the global trade. It has been talked about earlier, especially in agri. The value addition is less, which reduces the value to the farmer also. Climate change is a big thing which has been talked about by Mr. Simon also, and this is going to impact every state and also Gujarat. And our population is increasing, so food and livelihood security has to be taken care. But there are different opportunities also. So one opportunity is that we have multiple agroclimatic conditions in India. In Gujarat also, we can actually grow many crops in our crop. There is a global food demand increasing, so the surplus crops which we are producing can be exported. There are new strategic partnerships like free trade agreements and others are happening, so they are another opportunity. Government is supporting lot on farmer collectivization, digitization push is there, farmer IDs are getting created, so this gives another opportunity of leveraging digital and improving the value chains. And consumer awareness on food safety, health, nutrition, this is also creating demand for value added crops. So basis this, what can be the focus area for the nation, for the state? One is how do you increase the productivity and production of our crops? Then leveraging digital tools to solve farmer problems. Digital has power of solving many issues, quality assaying, farmer advisory which can be customized and so on. We also believe that produce the buy concept, which is about buying what can be, what market needs, that's the dimension has to change, and here sustainability and identity preservation adds a lot of value. Crop diversification and value addition in the product is another focus area. And finally, we have to address climate change to build the competitive agri-value chains. So basis this, if we have to build the integrated value chain from soil to shelf, so what are the focus areas which we have taken? First is working with FPOs or farmer groups. So we are working with robust network of FPO, 2000 FPOs in India. Second is using technology to improve efficiency. So we have created a dedicated digitization platform called ITC Mars, which is a digital platform to address various issues of agriculture and improve the value chains. Then another is that moving production centric supply chain, matlab what is being grown that you produce or that you buy, moving from there what you actually need is getting produced, and we are doing that in Gujarat also. I will cover that. That's another thing. Improving value addition, connecting farmer to international markets or with the value addition brands. And then last is how do you have a regenerative agriculture value chains through climate smart programs. So I will take one by one. So first is about leveraging digital and farmer collective. So we have started a program called ITC Mars, which is Meta Market for Advanced Agriculture and Rural Services. Here, both in terms of digital platform and physical support system, we are working with FPOs and providing a super app we have created using AI and ML capabilities, which provides market linkages to the farmer, market prices of different crops, platform for them to understand agri inputs and also put their demand and buy from FPOs. Crop advisory, which is personalized. We have the first AI-led, Krishi Mitra chatbot for farmers. And there are a lot of other features like crop calendar. There are real-time weather updates which are very customized to farmers. Then there is a linkage of 5-6 banks, so farmer can actually avail various type of credits for its agriculture and personal needs. On the physical side, all this has been happening through FPOs. Then we have our field teams in every district to support farmer. There are a lot of demonstration plots created to show how these new varieties can be grown, climate smart agriculture can be done. And with all that, the idea is that productivity improves, transaction cost comes down for the entire chain, and the customized solution to farmer can be given. Right now, we are working with 84 FPOs in Gujarat, covering more than 500 villages and over 70,000 farmers. And this is a growing project we launched some time back, and this is in the fast pace of progress. Another is how value addition can actually improve the, strengthen the supply chains or value chains. So we do two things here. One is lot of our ITC brands, whatever we are there is a connect with farmer. So it is, for example, wheat for our Ashirwad. Again, we buy from Gujarat. We have manufacturing also here. Then potato, again, we buy from Gujarat. We sell potato seeds also, and it goes for our bingo chips. Milk we have is in Eastern India. There also it is connected with our brands. Our spices, sunrise, again, we do it in Gujarat, cumin and coriander. It goes to our spices brand. Fruit pulp, we do fruit pulps also here. That is for juices. And similarly, the frozen snacks, again, potato is one of the major ingredient. It goes the potato is connected. So idea is to connect farmers with market. But apart from that, there is other type of value addition which is very interesting in agriculture, and we are working. So for example, in the low side of value addition, we focus on attribute based value addition like basic flours, straight spices, pulp and purees. Next level of value addition is then when you add food safety. So like for example, food safe spices or food safe products like fruits and vegetable or certified coffees. Then next level of value addition which is very high is either organic products or special ingredients like extracts and formulation of medicinal aromatic plants. So likewise we work on various type of value additions in agriculture. This helps farmer also getting higher value, and we are also able to create good business around it. Now, without sustainability, you cannot work with in these agri value chains. So we focus on climate smart variety promotion, because climate change is happening and it is one of the key area to work with. Then very crop and region specific say productivity enhancement tools are been given to the farmer. Natural resource, soil and water management is another area, and market linkages. We have direct farmer procurement network and models in different crop value chains we work. I'll just quickly tell you three interesting case studies of on-ground programs. So first is wheat development program, which we are working over 6 lakh farmers. Here we have seen with wheat or the second crop working farmer, incomes are going up and quality is also improving. We have also introduced new crops of medicinal plants in Madhya Pradesh. Slowly it is getting into the different states. Here with end-to-end support of organic cultivation of medicinal plants like ashwagandha and tulsi, farmer incomes have increased and it has created a new business for us. Or in spices with integrated pest management, nutrient management spices, we are working in food safe programs across different states with chili in south regions and cumin coriander in west. And here also very good farmer income increase happens, and for us it is a differentiator for value addition. Some other type of climate smart agriculture is about focusing on sustainable agriculture practices or biodiversity conservation. We are one of the largest in water stewardship, and a lot of women empowerment programs are also been created around these FPOs. We talked about climate. So climate change is going to be very challenging. So we have conducted a study to see what are the climate hotspots in India where vulnerability will be very high, and how you create very customized mitigation and adaptation plans for those regions. Like for example, Gujarat in our study also comes, the temperatures will rise, so you need to have more climate resilience to manage the temperature and lower water things. So for each crop we have created customized plans, and we are executing it along with our ITC Mars ecosystem. Coming to Gujarat, we have already seen that Gujarat has a lot of potential in crops like wheat, gram, potatoes, spices, cotton, groundnut, soybean. But there are certain challenges also. Productivity can further increase. Coastal areas, belts have high salinity, so there the challenge comes for say productivity and crop choices. Input costs are going, and most important is climate change. So this is our presence in Gujarat. We are working in wheat, gram, paddy, maize, spices, potato, soybean and mango crop value chains. We have 3 value addition units here, one in Ahmedabad for atta, then we have 2 Meda units we are working, and 1 Mehsana. These are third party units wherein we work on say regular basis. We have 84 FPOs with over 65,000 farmers connected with direct market linkages for different crops. We do a lot of commodity exports. We have bases in Gujarat port, so that is also another area. Potato is important crop for us, both for seed as well as from a sourcing perspective. And we have 1,000 acres of organic mango cluster development, which is what we are working in the state. So this is one example how do we work in wheat right from shelf to the say to the brand. So our team has created climate smart varieties and practices for districts. We create frontline demonstrations and large scale population of these practices with farmers in leveraging our ITC Mars digital platform. We handhold farmer at every stage, and finally there is a buyback also of these varieties. So this is helping farmer improving their productivity, income, and for us it is a good quality, and we are very sure that with climate change also we are able to insulate these value chains or future proof these value chains through these actions. So this is one example, and this wheat then goes for our Ashirwad brand of atta or for other customers who are there in India. So thank you so much for giving us time, ma'am, and sharing our experiences. We are committed to Gujarat, and we are scaling up our footprints in all the areas. In agriculture, it's a very big state for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for all the detailed presentation. આપણા માનનીય કૃષિ મંત્રી શ્રી રાઘવજીભાઈ પટેલ ટૂંક સમયમાં આપણી વચ્ચે જોડાવા જઈ રહ્યા છે. So now we are ready to take the question and answers. આપનો કોઈ બી પ્રશ્ન હોય તો અહીંયા આગળ મંચ ઉપર ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી એક્સપર્ટ્સ છે. તમારી કોઈ બી દુવિધા હોય, કોઈ પ્રશ્ન હોય તો તમે અહીંયા આગળ પૂછી શકો છો.
આપની ક્વેશ્ચન્સ માટે એક કાગળ આપવામાં આવ્યું છે. આપનું ક્વેશ્ચન્સ કાં તો લખીને મોકલાવી દો, અન્યથા માઇક આપના પાસે અમે મોકલી શકીશું. યુ કેન રેઝ યોર હેન્ડ. આપણા પાસે 5 મિનિટ છે એટલે 2-3 સવાલ લઈ શકીએ. હાજી. So you'd like to speak or send your question? માઇક આપી દો ને. આપનું નામ બતાવો, આપનું ઓળખાણ આપો અને શું કહે કોના સાથે એડ્રેસ કર્યું છે. હા,
મારું નામ છે જયેન્દ્ર કુમાર નાનાલાલ બ્રહ્મભટ્ટ. હું છેલ્લા 5 વર્ષથી ઓર્ગેનિક ફાર્મિંગ કરું છું. ગવર્મેન્ટ ઓફ ગુજરાત તરફથી ફાર્મર્સ માટે ઘણી બધી ફેસિલિટેશન કરેલી છે, સબસિડીઝ પણ છે. પણ એક નાનકડો સવાલ છે, એ યુનિવર્સલ છે કે ગવર્મેન્ટે એક સ્કીમ બહાર પાડી છે કે જેમાં જેને 2 હેક્ટર જમીન હોય તો એ લોકોને ફેન્સિંગ કરી આપે, સો દેટ ક્રોપ પ્રોટેક્શન થઈ શકે. હવે એક્ઝેક્ટલી 2 હેક્ટર્સ કદાચ એમાં 200-400 મીટર ઓછું હોઈ શકે, તો એ માટે જો ગવર્મેન્ટ ફાર્મર્સને થોડો સપોર્ટ કરે અને એ રીતે ફેવર કરે તો હું માનું છું કે ફાર્મર્સનું પ્લાન્ટ પ્રોટેક્શન સારી રીતે થઈ શકે અને એને પોતાની રીતે પ્રોટેક્ટ કરીને સારું પ્રોડક્શન લઈને એ પોતે આગળ વધી શકે.
would like to respond? You would like to respond? Okay. ફરીથી ટૂંકમાં આપનું સવાલ ફરીથી રિપીટ કરો. ટૂંકો સવાલ ફરીથી રિપીટ કરો. થોડું આપને સમજવામાં અમારા એક્સપર્ટ્સને તકલીફ પડી છે.
Actually, he is asking about the fencing and others, the government subsidy. The problem.
Whom would you like to reply?
No, actually my view of saying my question is government should support to the farmers for the exact land of 2 hectares for these fencing facilities. So if the farmer is not having exactly 2 hectare land, then what can he do?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So meanwhile, I will take another question that we have received. Your point is noted. Shailesh Patel from Agriculture Extension, what remedies should be adopted for decrease of post-harvest losses in potato? That's a question to Mr. Simon Heck.
I can thank you, and I'm happy to look at it. As we said, right, it's overall about 30-40%, shockingly high. It's a combination of efforts that need to come together. It starts actually with the varieties. Some varieties are much better suited for storing under prevailing conditions than others. It goes into the harvesting and the mechanization. A lot of the tubers are already slightly damaged once they come out of the ground, and then the major stage at which losses are incurred is during transportation and storage. Transportation is critical, and as market chains become longer and more profitable as a result of that, that storability and the transportability becomes a critical factor. We have something called dry bruising, and that's really just the pressure put on the potato tubers as they are transported. You can't see that if you look at the tuber, it looks perfectly fine. If you want to use it for potato chips or crisp, and you cut it open, then you can see the discoloration. So that is a big economic loss to farmers, and they find that very difficult to manage. What needs to happen, I think, is some investment in transportation technology and then also in storage technology. There are prototypes available from around the world that can be adapted to potato, also in Gujarat. Thank you.
અમારા માનનીય મંત્રી શ્રી કૃષિ શ્રી રાઘવજીભાઈ પટેલ જોડાયા છે. એ દરમિયાનમાં આપણે એના સ્વાગત કરીએ છીએ. અને દરમિયાનમાં એક પ્રશ્ન છે ડૉક્ટર મયુરી વસાવડા, એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ ડીન, ગણપત યુનિવર્સિટી. Potato chips, cold storage for potato, starch extraction from potato are well-known opportunities for potato segment. What other innovative startup ideas would you love to suggest? Would you like to suggest? You would like to say?
So like I said, we are in fact the recipient of ideas. So our Bharati initiative is to get these innovative ideas. If you have any innovative product, we have also corresponded with the state agriculture universities also. So if you have any innovative product, or if you have any new know-how or technology which you think will improve the shelf life of the potato, or will also improve the quality or appearance or the other attributes, we will be willing to support from APIDA side to take it forward. And second, like you said, like you wanted to know about additional opportunities on potatoes. It all depends on the kind of potato which is being grown and its attributes. And I think the new center which has come up in Agra will be the right institute to answer your question. But we can always correspond with you later on, and would help you out in finding additional avenues for the regional potatoes based on their quality and characteristics.
Thank you. There's a question from Dr. Girish Patel. What kind of research opportunities recently in the world going on? What are kind of research opportunities are recently going on in the in potato? Any opportunity for collaboration with International Potato Center, Peru? So specifically a question for you.
Yeah, thank you. And indeed, right, there is a rich set of opportunities. We were very honored to have a delegation from India in Peru a few months ago that included officials, including Secretary of Agriculture from Government of India, and the delegation from ICAR, as well as from Uttar Pradesh. And one of the discussions was with the universities in Peru and with the research institutes, who have quite a history of potato research, as you will imagine. And I think there will be now already, I got copied into some correspondence, ongoing and you know, initial discussions on collaboration amongst universities, including students and junior faculty. Again, that the new center in Agra will be a platform to make that more visible, accessible, also to states like Gujarat and your universities like this one here. I'd be very, very open to that, and also to get your suggestions on what's really important for Gujarat, for your economy, right? Do you need to want to do research on post-harvest losses? Is it on the climate change, or both of that? And we can match that with other institutes in Peru and in other regions of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the detailed inputs. તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી સ્વાગત કરીશું કૃષિ, પશુપાલન, ગૌ સંવર્ધન, મત્સ્યોદ્યોગ અને ગ્રામ વિકાસ મંત્રી ગુજરાત સરકાર શ્રી રાઘવજીભાઈ પટેલ આપણી વચ્ચે અહીંયા ઉપસ્થિત છે. સરને વિનંતી કરીએ એમના અધ્યક્ષ સ્થાનેથી ઉદ્બોધન માટે.
રિજિયોનલ વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત સમિટના આ નોલેજ સેશનમાં ઉપસ્થિત રહેલા અધિક મુખ્ય સચિવ શ્રી કૃષિ ડૉક્ટર અંજુ શર્માજી, સાયમન હેક, ડાયરેક્ટર જનરલ ઇન્ટરનેશનલ પોટેટો સેન્ટર, શ્રી અભિષેક દેવ, ચેરમેન શ્રી અપેડા, શ્રી સચિન શર્મા, વાઇસ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ શ્રી આઈટીસી, ઉપસ્થિત રહેલા સૌ સજ્જનો, પ્રેસ મીડિયાના સૌ મિત્રો, સૌને મારા નમસ્કાર. ગુજરાત ભારત દેશના પશ્ચિમ કિનારે આવેલ મહત્ત્વનું રાજ્ય છે, જે ઉદ્યોગો અને કૃષિ બંને ક્ષેત્રોમાં વિકાસ કરી દેશના વિકાસમાં ખૂબ જ મહત્ત્વપૂર્ણ યોગદાન આપી રહ્યું છે. ગુજરાત રાજ્યમાં ભૌગોલિક અને પ્રાકૃતિક વાતાવરણની વિવિધતા હોવાના કારણે અહીં 40થી વધુ પ્રકારના અનાજ, તેલીબિયાં, કઠોળ, રોકડિયા પાક, ફળપાક, શાકભાજી અને મસાલા પાકોની ખેતી થાય છે. ગુજરાતમાં ઉગાડવામાં આવતા વિવિધ પાકોના કારણે આ રાજ્ય કૃષિ ઉદ્યોગ માટે ખૂબ જ યોગ્ય છે. ગુજરાતના મુખ્યમંત્રી તરીકે માનનીય શ્રી નરેન્દ્રભાઈ મોદીના કાર્યકાળ દરમિયાન 2003થી રાજ્યમાં તમામ પ્રકારના ઉદ્યોગોને પ્રોત્સાહન માટે પ્રથમ વાઇબ્રન્ટ સમિટ શરૂ થઈ હતી. તેની સફળતાને જોતા આજે અનેક રાજ્યોમાં પણ આવી સમિટનું આયોજન થાય છે. વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત સમિટ અને રાજ્ય સરકારની વ્યાપાર અનુકૂળ નીતિઓના કારણે ગુજરાતમાં અનેક ઉદ્યોગો સ્થાપિત થયા છે. આ બદલાવ રાજ્યમાં કૃષિ અને કૃષિ આધારિત ઉદ્યોગોની સ્થાપના માટે ખૂબ જ અનુકૂળ વાતાવરણ પ્રદાન કરી રહ્યા છે. ગુજરાતના પહેલા સમયમાં ખેતી મુખ્યત્વે વરસાદ આધારિત હતી, પરંતુ રાજ્ય સરકાર દ્વારા કૃષિ ક્ષેત્રમાં લેવાયેલા પગલાં અને સહાય યોજનાઓના કારણે આજે રાજ્ય કૃષિ ક્ષેત્રે અગ્રણી બની ગયું છે. ગુજરાત રાજ્ય કૃષિ ક્ષેત્રના અનેક પાકોમાં માત્ર રાષ્ટ્રીય સ્તરે નહીં, પરંતુ વૈશ્વિક સ્તરે પણ અગ્રતાનું સ્થાન ધરાવે છે. ગુજરાત રાજ્યમાં મગફળી, એરંડા, ચીકુ, પપૈયા, ભીંડા, અજમો, જીરું અને વરિયાળીના ઉત્પાદનમાં દેશમાં પ્રથમ ક્રમે છે. તલ, દાડમ, ચણા ઉત્પાદનમાં બીજે ક્રમે છે, જ્યારે રીંગણ, મેથી, કેળા અને સીતાફળના ઉત્પાદનમાં ત્રીજા ક્રમે છે. દેશના કુલ કપાસ ઉત્પાદનના 24% ઉત્પાદન ગુજરાતમાં થાય છે. ગુજરાત રાજ્યમાં કેસર કેરી અને ભાલિયા ઘઉંને જીઆઈ ટેગ મળ્યું છે, જેને લીધે વિશ્વમાં તેની ભારે માંગ છે. ગુજરાત રાજ્યમાં મગફળી, કપાસ, ડાંગર, દિવેલા, મરી મસાલા પાકોનું મોટા પ્રમાણમાં વાવેતર થાય છે. મગફળી પાકોમાંથી તેનું મૂલ્યવર્ધન કરી મગફળીનું તેલ, ચીક્કી, ખારીસિંગ બનાવવામાં આવે છે, તેમજ પીનટ બટર કે જેની વિશ્વમાં ખૂબ મોટી માંગ છે, તેના મૂલ્યવર્ધન માટે ખૂબ મોટી સંભાવનાઓ છે. વિશ્વના મરી મસાલા પાકોનું સૌથી મોટું વેચાણ કેન્દ્ર ઉત્તર ગુજરાતમાં ઊંઝા ખાતે આવેલ છે. મસાલા પાકોની ખરીદી અને એનું મૂલ્યવર્ધન કરી વિશ્વ કક્ષાએ મૂકવામાં આવી રહ્યા છે. દક્ષિણ ગુજરાતમાં શેરડી પાકમાં સુગર કોઓપરેટિવ સંસ્થાઓના કારણે ખેડૂતોને વાવણીથી લઈ વેચાણ સુધીની તમામ સુવિધાઓ મળી રહે છે અને નફાકારકતા જળવાઈ રહે છે. કપાસ પાકમાં ખૂબ જ મોટા પ્રમાણમાં જીનિંગ પ્રેસિંગ યુનિટો અને કોટન ફેડરેશનના કારણે ગાંસડીઓની નિકાસ થાય છે, તેમજ સુરતના કાપડ ઉદ્યોગ દ્વારા કપાસ ઉપયોગમાં લેવામાં આવે છે અને તેની નિકાસ પણ કરવામાં આવે છે. ડાંગર પકવતા મધ્ય અને દક્ષિણ ગુજરાતના ડાંગરમાંથી ચોખા બનાવવા તેમજ તેમાંથી પૌવા, મમરા બનાવવા માટેના ઔદ્યોગિક એકમો ખૂબ મોટા પાયે કાર્યરત છે. ઉત્તર ગુજરાતમાં રાષ્ટ્રીય અને આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય કંપનીઓ દ્વારા ખેડૂતો સાથે કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ ફાર્મિંગ કરી ઉદ્યોગોને જરૂરિયાત મુજબના બટાટાનું ઉત્પાદન કરવામાં આવી રહેલ છે. આ તમામ ઉદાહરણો ગુજરાતમાં ઉત્પાદિત થઈ રહેલા પાકોની મૂલ્યવૃદ્ધિ કરી આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય બજારમાં મૂકવાની ઉજ્જવળ તકો દર્શાવે છે. ગુજરાત રાજ્ય કૃષિ પાકોના ઉત્પાદન સાથે મૂળભૂત સુવિધાઓથી પણ સજ્જ છે. ગુજરાતમાં વિવિધ બંદરો જેવા કે કંડલા અને મુન્દ્રા નિકાસ માટે મહત્ત્વપૂર્ણ છે. ગુજરાતના ગ્રામ્ય સ્તર સુધી વીજળી, રસ્તા અને રેલવેનું વ્યાપક નેટવર્ક પણ ઉદ્યોગો માટે અનુકૂળ છે. ગુજરાતમાં કૃષિ ઉપજના વેચાણ માટે મજબૂત નેટવર્ક છે. રાજ્યમાં 224થી વધુ કૃષિ ઉત્પાદક બજાર સમિતિઓ છે, જેમાંથી 144 નામ સાથે જોડાયેલ છે. ઉપરાંત 355 ફાર્મર પ્રોડ્યુસર ઓર્ગેનાઇઝેશનો પણ સ્થાપિત કરવામાં આવ્યા છે. ગુજરાતમાં મોટી સંખ્યામાં આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય કન્ટેનર ડેપો, કન્વેનર ફ્રેટ સ્ટેશન, એર કાર્ગો સ્ટેશન, ખાનગી ફ્રેટ ટર્મિનલ અને એગ્રીકલ્ચર પ્રોડ્યુસ માર્કેટિંગ કમિટીઓની સુવિધાઓ વ્યાપક રીતે ઉપલબ્ધ છે. રાજ્ય સરકારે ઇઝ ઓફ બિઝનેસની જેમ ઇઝ ઓફ ફાર્મિંગ અપનાવ્યું છે. તેના હેઠળ ખેડૂતોને બીજથી લઈને બજાર સુધીનો સંપૂર્ણ રીતે સરકારનો સહયોગ મળી રહ્યો છે. ભારતના માનનીય વડાપ્રધાન શ્રી મોદીજીના પ્રસ્તાવના આધારે સંયુક્ત રાષ્ટ્ર દ્વારા વર્ષ 2023ને ઇન્ટરનેશનલ મિલેટ વર્ષ તરીકે મનાવવામાં આવ્યું હતું. ભારતમાં વર્ષોથી વિવિધ પ્રકારના મિલેટનું ઉત્પાદન પણ થઈ રહ્યું છે. રાજ્યમાં મિલેટના ઉપયોગને ધ્યાનમાં રાખી એક જનજાગૃતિ અભિયાન શરૂ થયું છે, જેના અંતર્ગત રાજ્યની તમામ 248 તાલુકામાં મિલેટ પાકોની ખેતી અને વપરાશ વધારવા માટે કૃષિ મેળા અને પ્રદર્શનોનું આયોજન થાય છે. તે ઉપરાંત રાજ્યની 8 મહાનગરપાલિકાઓમાં પણ મિલેટ પાકોની વિશિષ્ટતાઓ અને ઉપયોગિતાઓ અંગે જાગૃતિ માટે વર્ષ 2023થી દર વર્ષે મિલેટ મહોત્સવનું આયોજન કરવામાં આવે છે અને આવનાર વર્ષોમાં પણ આ ચાલુ રાખવામાં આવશે. આ પ્રયત્નોના પરિણામે રાજ્યમાં મિલેટની ખેતી અને ઉત્પાદન આગામી વર્ષમાં વધશે, જે મિલેટ પાકોના ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગ અને નિકાસ માટે સારો અવસર પૂરો પાડશે. આજના અનેક કૃષિ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ મિલેટના મૂલ્યવર્ધનમાં કાર્યરત છે. હવે મિલેટના બિસ્કિટ, પાપડ, પાસ્તા, નૂડલ્સ બધું બનવા લાગ્યું છે. હરિત ક્રાંતિના કારણે આજે દેશ અને ગુજરાતમાં કૃષિ ઉત્પાદનનું સરપ્લસ ઉત્પાદન થઈ રહ્યું છે. આ પરિસ્થિતિમાં વધારાના ઉત્પાદનનું મૂલ્યવર્ધન અને ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગ ઉદ્યોગોની સ્થાપના માટે ઉજ્જવળ અવસર છે. ગુજરાતમાં આશરે 2.4 લાખ હેક્ટરમાં પ્રાકૃતિક ખેતી થઈ રહી છે. આ ખેતીમાં રાસાયણિક ખાતર કે જંતુનાશક દવાના ઉપયોગ વગર સંપૂર્ણપણે પ્રાકૃતિક ધોરણે દેશી ગાયના ગોબર અને મૂત્રના ઉપયોગથી આ ખેતી થઈ રહી છે, જેથી તેમાં ઉપજતા પાકો જેમાં આ રાસાયણિક ખાતરો અને જંતુનાશક દવાઓના કોઈ પણ જાતના અંશો રહેતા નથી. અને સમગ્ર વિશ્વમાં જ્યારે રાસાયણિક ખાતર અને જંતુનાશક દવા મુક્ત ઉત્પાદિત ચીજોનું વેચાણ વધી રહ્યું છે, ત્યારે ગુજરાતમાં આ પ્રાકૃતિક ભવિષ્યનું ખૂબ મોટું યોગદાન રહેવાનું છે. એની ખેતી ઉત્તરોત્તર વધી રહી છે અને પ્રાકૃતિક પેદાશોની માંગ પણ વધી રહી છે. આ બધા સંજોગોને લક્ષમાં લઈ ગુજરાતમાં ખેતીના વિકાસની ખૂબ ઉજ્જવળ તકો છે. ઉપરાંત એગ્રો પ્રોસેસિંગ યુનિટ અને વેલ્યુ એડ પ્રોસેસિંગ યુનિટો માટે ગુજરાતમાં ખૂબ મોટા પ્રમાણમાં તકો રહેલી છે. મારી આપ સૌ ઉદ્યોગકાર મિત્રોને વિનંતી છે કે તમે બધા ગુજરાતમાં આવો, તમે અહીં કૃષિને લગતી જે આડ પેદાશો છે એને લગતા ઉદ્યોગો શરૂ કરો. રાજ્ય સરકાર તમને સંપૂર્ણ સાથ અને સહકાર આપવા કટિબદ્ધ છે અને આપણા યશસ્વી વડાપ્રધાન શ્રી નરેન્દ્રભાઈ મોદીનું સપનું છે કે લેબરથી લેન્ડથી લેબોરેટરી સુધીની તમામ સુવિધાઓ સરકાર જ્યારે પૂરી પાડી અને રાજ્યને કૃષિ ક્ષેત્રે દેશમાં અગ્રણી રાજ્ય બનાવવા માટે સરકાર તરફથી સંપૂર્ણ મહેનત કરવામાં આવી રહી છે. તો આ અવસરનો તમે લાભ લઈ અને ગુજરાતમાં આ કૃષિ આધારિત વધુમાં વધુ ઉદ્યોગો સ્થાપાય એ દૃષ્ટિએ તમને સૌને વિચારવા મારું હાર્દિક નિમંત્રણ છે. સૌનો આભાર. અસ્તુ. ભારત માતા કી જય.
ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. આપની ઉપસ્થિતિ અમારા માટે ઉત્સાહવર્ધક છે. ખેડૂતના વિકાસલક્ષી આ પહેલને વધારવા માટે એને સપોર્ટ કરવા બદલ આપનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. Now we will hand over the mementos to all the dignitaries as a sign of appreciation. સ્મૃતિ ચિહ્ન અર્પણ કરીશું. ફરી એકવાર આપણા મંચસ્થ મહાનુભાવો માટે તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી એમનું અભિવાદન કરીએ. જ્યારે ખેડૂત ભાઈઓ બહેનોની વિકાસની વાત થઈ રહી છે, આગળ વધવાની વાત થઈ રહી છે, ઉજ્જવળ ભવિષ્યની વાત થઈ રહી છે, ત્યારે આ હોલમાં ઉપસ્થિત દરેકને વિનંતી કરીએ છીએ કે આ હોલ તમારી તાળીઓથી ગુંજી જાય એટલો અવાજ થવો જોઈએ, તમારી તાળીઓમાં એટલું જોર હોવું જોઈએ કે અહીંયા આગળ ઉપસ્થિત દરેક મહાનુભાવો કે જે એમનો અમૂલ્ય સમય આપણને આપી રહ્યા છે, આ ઇનિશિયેટિવને, આ પહેલને સપોર્ટ કરવા માટે, સહકાર આપવા માટે, ત્યારે આપણે એમને તાળીઓથી નવાવીએ. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing the honors. Thank you. ફરી એક વખત સર્વે મંચસ્થ મહાનુભાવોનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. Thank you all so much for sparing your valuable time and sharing your valuable insights with us. 5 મિનિટનો વિરામ, જેમાં અમે આગળના સેશન માટે ચેન્જ ઓવર કરીશું અને સર્વેને નમ્ર વિનંતી કરીએ છીએ કે આપનું સ્થાન અહીંયા જ રાખો. આગળના સેશનમાં આપણી વચ્ચે આપણા માનનીય મુખ્યમંત્રી શ્રી ઉપસ્થિત થવા જઈ રહ્યા છે. would like to invite ગુજરાત રાજ્યના મુખ્ય સચિવ શ્રી પંકજ જોશીજી, Miss Dina Umali, Regional Practice Director, South Asia Planet Department, The World Bank, Mr. Josimo, Officer in charge of Asia and the Pacific Service and Senior Agro-Business Officer, Investment Center, Food and Agriculture Organization. આપ સૌને નમ્ર વિનંતી કરીએ છીએ પોતાનું સ્થાન ગ્રહણ કરવા માટે. વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત રિજનલ કોન્ફરન્સ 2025માંના આ સેમિનારમાં ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગના વિવિધ પાસાઓ પર ચર્ચા થઈ રહી છે અને ખેડૂતોને પોતાના ઉત્પાદનમાં કેવી રીતે મૂલ્યવર્ધિત તકો પ્રાપ્ત થઈ શકે એની અલગ અલગ ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટીઝ વિશે આપણે વાત કરી રહ્યા છીએ. I request Mr. Josimo, Officer in charge of Asia and the Pacific Service and Senior Agri-Business Officer, Investment Center, Food and Agriculture Organization, to deliver his special address. તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી મહાનુભાવોનું સ્વાગત કરીએ.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I want to thank the government of Gujarat for this invitation to participate in this esteemed panel. It is also very nice to be in Gujarat. I have been in many states in India, and it's my first time to be in Gujarat, and I like very much to be here. I have a presentation. Is that so? I would like to address you today with a presentation on where I would like to be connecting things that has been already said here during the first panel of discussions. That is, that the agriculture sector and the capacity of the countries, and in this case of the states, to produce and sustainably the different products that it's producing is increasingly under threat. I just want to see if I'm the one managing this. Yes, increasingly under threat, and the sector does need to take measures. The farmers, different value chain actors do need to take measures to actually overcome some of the challenges that are climate related and so on. So my name is Josimo Santos Rocha, as I was introduced, and I work for the FAO Investment Center. I will not talk much about the center, but 30 minutes I will use just to say that it's a unit inside of the Food and Agriculture Organization where we basically work with our member countries and the international financial institutions to design and implement better investment projects in agri-food systems that support agri-food system transformation. So we basically match the knowledge, the data, and the convening power that FAO has with the resources that comes from the countries and the finance that comes from international financial institutions. So basically on the bottom you can see that is we work on upstream work, analytical work, policy work, investment programs that are implemented by governments. We support the design and the implementation. We do also do a lot of work in de-risking the private sector investment, and also we have a growing area of work on innovative finance. And also we have a lot of publications that we generate in important themes like climate smart agriculture that I will be talking today. And also there is a program for developing the capacities of our member countries and our partners. So just to set the scene, and most of that has already been done, I was saying before that there is quite a bit of negative impact that are in different contexts. The climate change and different weather events are actually affecting the agriculture sector. And not only on the production side, there is also risks that are related to downstream activities. And this puts countries and states exposed to food insecurity, and in many contexts to a reduced water security, which obviously affects the capacity to produce different crops. And at the same time, as the sector is affected by climate impacts, we are also one of the emitters. We are a sector that is related to about not less than 20%, and it can be as much as 37% of the GHG emissions can be somehow attributed to the sector. So basically we are in both ends, and if we really want to have sustainable food security in our countries, in our states, we really need to look for approaches that can help us to increase or at least maintain levels of productivity in different value chains that can bring some level of adaptations for this kind of impacts that we are having. And, hopefully we can also have a greener agri-food sector in our countries. So basically, I would like to talk to you today about one of those approaches that is basically climate smart agriculture that help us to pursue at the same time those three types of outcomes. We can look at CSA practices to increase productivity, increase income, increase food security. We can look at bundles of practices that can help us to improve biodiversity, soil resources, fertility, the structures of soils, and also to increase resource efficiency. And at the same time, we can pursue through the implementation and adoption at scale of climate smart agriculture, we can look at mitigations of GHG emissions along the agri-food value chains. And, the good thing is why, different of practice or adapted to different types of stakeholders, small-scale farmers, medium-scale farmers, and large-scale farmers. The good news is that there is this continuum, and there is different solutions that can be adopted at the scale for those three categories of farmers. So just to give you an example of types of climate smart agriculture practices that FAO has been promoting, for example, in sustainable rice intensification in Vietnam, you will see that it has pursued with different results the three types of outcome, from food production to the resilience and adaptation part to the reduction of emissions. You can see conservation agriculture in Indonesia and Timor-Leste also looking at the three types of impacts in productivities, resilience, and emissions. And also the case of livestock management in Nepal, and mechanization. So better types of mechanization that helps us to improve efficiency in seeding processes that also have an impact in those three dimensions. So basically, I would like just to share with you, and that is the main part of my presentation, is that when countries and states are trying to promote the adoption of climate smart agriculture at scale, one thing that they will face is that the promotion of those practices and technologies, on the one hand, they will face synergies. So basically, there is practices that actually put all the types of practice and technology that are already being used, that they will reinforce each other. So basically, I can have a climate smart agriculture practices that will help to manage my soil in a better way, and also that can have an impact in water efficiency use. So there is those types of synergy there, but also there is trade-offs. So basically, I can achieve my objective of increasing productivity, but maybe that will have an impact in the level of emissions that I'm actually putting into the system. So I will share 3 slides just with some data coming from researchers, from evidence that actually show the impact of those practices. And I would like to have a couple of messages related to this. So the first one is the influence of climate and irrigation on the yields impacts of no-till relative to conventional systems. So basically, I have removed tillage from my system, so I'm using a no-till system, and I'm looking from different studies. Is a large number of studies that comes to this very simple graph. And one thing that you will see is that there is a temporal situation where in the first 2 to 3 years, depending on the conditions, the impact is negative. For example, in the case of yields, so the yields tended to dip a little bit in the first 2-3 years, but then there is a tendency for the level of yields to be increased, or at least to reach the levels of the conventional systems. But the other part that it's showing us here is actually that there are factors that often limit the applicability of those practices. And you will see there that, for example, the first dot on the top, it is just in dry climates and using a rain-fed system is the only one that had an impact in yields that was positive in those first 2 to 3 years. And all the others were quite negative. So the other message that I'm having here is that there is factors that are affecting a lot the capacity of increasing adoption. And my capacity to increase adoption is directly correlated to the level, to our capacity to achieve those objectives that we are actually pursuing. And here you will see another one. It is even a larger number, a meta-study that considers different types of technologies and different types of systems. And you will see that there is, you see the trade-offs there where increasing soil carbon, for example, actually tended to reduce returns for the farmers. So that is, I'm achieving a very positive things that I have better soils. It will tend to increase productivity, but there is better, lower returns, most likely related to the levels of cost that I have. So there is elements that needs to be considered there. If we look from the productivity over the resilience part, there is a lot of those that have increased yields, but it was at the cost of, lowering the participation amongst women. So there is an issue of inequality there. That is also a target that you may want to pursue. So you will see in the graph is that there is a large amount of studies that actually found a lot of synergies. They tended to see more synergies and more impacts coming up. But there is also a substantial number that you can see in the two opposite corners from the top left to the bottom right, that you can see actually major trade-offs. So, in this other case, I will go very fast. You will see that also the effect of water management in some indicators related to methane emissions, to N2O emissions, and you will see that there is a lot of cases that tended to reduce emissions, methane emissions, that tended to increase N2O emissions. But the overall global warming potential of those technologies and bundles, they actually tended to increase. So the net mitigation potential of what was studied here actually was positive. And at the same time that the yields, they were maintained more or less at the same level. So what we are saying here is that there is a number of climate-smart agriculture technologies and practice that can be adopted at scale because they can generate the levels of impact that you want to generate at the same time that you can manage the risk and you can keep, for example, in this case, the levels of productivity at the same level. So what you will see here is how we actually go. I'm just showing a practical way of Nepal in the way that FAO actually goes from the policy goals that is set by the government, by the leaders. So basically I look at what the government wants and the sector, not only the government, what the private sector wants to achieve in terms of, they want to implement climate smart agriculture to achieve what? So we go from the goals, is that productivity, is that mitigation, is that adaptation, right? And the idea is to have a very participatory process to go through the process of going from a large set of climate smart options to something that is going to be the core of the promotion of this policy. So in the case of agriculture of Nepal, we started with a long list of practices in different subsectors. We went to a short list, and then we arrived to the point that we had different bundles. So two things that I would like to summarize from what I have said so far. The first one, the CSA, they are context specific. The second one, that there is factors that actually affect the adoption of those, the impact that they have, and by consequence, their adoption potential. And the third thing that is that we need to have a very participatory approach to understand what are the kind of CSA technologies and practices that can actually be promoted at scales in a specific context. So that is the process that we have gone through. And here I would like to give you an example. This is actually a study that I led, and it was in collaboration with the World Bank in Egypt, that basically we started from a very large number of climate smart options in 4 different sectors: in dairy, wheat, maize, and date palm. And basically, from about 25 practices and bundles of practices, we arrived to about 15 practices. Most of them you see here. And as you can see on your left, they are not single practices, most of them. They are bundled in the types of practices that will bring synergies in terms of adopting different objectives, or at least one of them that may be the priority for the policymaker. So as you can see there, when you consider 4 of those examples, you will see there in colorful images, you will see that we looked at their capacity to increase water use efficiency, reduce emissions, the job creation capacity. So basically, as I adopt those technology in about, we said that, we say, look, for the number of hectares that are producing maize in Egypt, I will set 25% of the hectares that will simulate the adoption of those specific package of technologies. And as you can see there, adopting this to this 25% have actually a very major job creation potential. So we are not only talking about efficiency related to quantity and to the level of productivity in the different crops, but we are also talking about the efficiencies that will actually put the farmers and other value chain actors in a better conditions to even create jobs. So we can see different types of outcomes that we can pursue through this, and I'm showing here specifically the case of Egypt. For those crops, maize and wheat, Egypt is the largest importer of wheat in the world, and you will see that one major thing for them is that they can only produce about half. They have a goal to reach to 65% of what they consume. So the consumption and import gaps is something very important. And actually implementing a set of those technologies can actually put Egypt, instead of focusing on horizontal increase of production, they still have an important gap that they can close vertically. So basically making their limited lands and water to produce much more than they are producing by adopting those types of practices. So I just want to finalize my presentation with some messages that I already mentioned. So basically, these practices, those bundles of practices, can definitely generate different kind of policy goals in terms of productivity, efficiency, and climate goals. They can support, intensification of agriculture, the larger producers, but they can also be a livelihood enhancers for the smaller farmers. There is no one-size-fits-all. Every case is specific. In every case, we need to identify what are the types of technologies and solutions that are there. And for that, something very important is needed. Not only the participatory approaches that I mentioned before, but it is data. We need localized data that put us in a situation to be able to actually select those practices in a better way. As we implement CSAs, we will have synergies, we will have trade-offs, and hopefully we will have enough access to the data and the analytical power for us to choose those packages that goes towards the synergies. Policy, finance, and technology are key drivers for reaching adoption of scale. The adoption of scale of climate smart agriculture practices and technologies, they will not come overnight. Policy needs to be there. Strategic frameworks for the promotion of them needs to be there. And finance needs to be in place so those technologies can be adopted. And also some enabling conditions, like digital tools that can be important accelerators of the adoption of different technologies. I will finish with just to mention that there is two major areas where the FAO Investment Center and FAO as more broadly is actually supporting to scale the adoption of practices. On the one part, we have the mobilization of climate finance for CSA. So all the work that we do in one side to track the level of climate finance that is actually being invested in different countries. The work that we do to de-risk different types of green investments. We have a work that we do that's called AgriIntel, that we are basically helping through data, through analytics, and capacity building to actually de-risk different operations that are being made in CSA. And also all the mobilization of climate finance that we have through the GCF projects and the GEF projects that FAO implement, and some of the international financial institutions that we work with, we also help them to design and implement those projects. And on the right side, all the work that we do at the country level, at the state level. In India, we work in about 11 states, including Gujarat, and where we have the government to put policy frameworks that can actually promote agriculture. We have what we call the climate smart agriculture investment plans. We have implemented a lot of them, we have designed a lot of them, but also the design and implementation of different bankable programs that we have been designing with the different institutions. I think my time is up. I just leave you with some messages related to the specific opportunity that CSA actually bring for the state of Gujarat. It definitely is scaling CSA in the state, definitely aligns with the state's innovation-based growth vision and with the plan that was presented this morning. So I will stop here and thank you very much for the opportunity to present. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zosimo, for sharing the insights of various activities conducted by FAO. Now I request and invite Ms. Dina Umali, Regional Practice Director, South Asia, Planet Department, the World Bank, to deliver her keynote address on global trends, lessons on linking soil health to market value.
Honorable Minister Sri Raghav Jivai Patel, Additional Chief Secretary Dr. Anju Sharma, respected dignitaries, partners, and colleagues. It's a real privilege for me to join you today on this vibrant Gujarat regional summit. Let me begin by congratulating the government of Gujarat for convening this very timely and visionary event. As we saw this morning, Gujarat has long been at the forefront of agricultural innovation, from irrigation efficiency to agribusiness development. And today's discussion on linking soil health to market value shows that once again, the state's commitment to forward-looking ideas that matter not just for Gujarat, but for India and the world. Now, if we look to the future, the global population will reach 9 billion people by 2050. And what it means is that we need to grow more food by as much as 30 to 50% more by 2050. Now, this creates very important economic opportunities for the agriculture and the agribusiness sectors. Today, about 80% of all food is produced by smallholder farmers. Of these, about 80% or 500 million of these farmers are very small. They farm maybe 2 hectares or less. And of these, 126 million are in India. So that's about 25% of the smallholders in the world. Now, many of our farmers, though, still use very traditional production methods, and they're not yet very well connected to markets. So helping them to succeed commercially will thus create more jobs, it would help increase their incomes, and improve food security for both India and also the world, because India is also one of the biggest food baskets of the world today. So with this, why does soil health matter? Quite simply, soils are the foundation of our food systems. They determine how much we grow, how nutritious our food is, and how resilient our farmers are going to be to all the climate shocks that we're seeing today: floods, droughts, rising temperatures, etc. Now, when soils degrade, farmers lose productivity, food supply becomes unreliable, and the cost of farming rise. And globally, 1/3 of our soils are already degraded, and the economic cost of this is enormous. Now, here in Gujarat, we know that the average soil organic carbon is around 0.35%, which is much lower than many regional peers such as Vietnam, where the soil carbon is about 0.7 to 1.5%. So that's double to 3 times higher. Now, this has consequences for productivity, for resilience, and also for competitiveness in markets. But the reverse is equally true. When soils are healthy, yields improve, input costs fall, and crop quality rises. So healthy soils are really important because they open new doors through carbon markets as well, where farmers can earn additional income by sequestering carbon in their land. And now, if 1 ton of carbon credit or 1 ton of carbon can be sold for maybe $10 to $20 per ton. So that's also an additional income that can bring to the agriculture sector. So in other words, healthy soils lead to healthy markets, healthy profits, and healthier people. So across the world, we see a growing recognition that soil health is not just about environment sustainability. It is about prosperity. So in Europe, farmers are now rewarded under the Common Agriculture Policy when they adopt good practices like cover cropping, conservation tillage. Now, these measures not only improve soils, but also provide farmers with a steady income. In Latin America, cocoa and coffee farmers who invest in soil stewardship are benefiting from new certification systems that also bring them export premiums. In Paraguay and in Peru, these efforts combined with strong farmer organizations have lifted thousands of families out of poverty and raised their incomes by as much as 30%. In Asia, the innovation is moving quickly. In Vietnam, higher soil organic carbon levels have boosted resilience and underpinned a thriving agriculture export sector. In China and also here in India, digital soil maps, drones, and AI tools are helping farmers apply the right input at the right time and the right place. And this helps cut costs, improve productivity, and also improve agriculture's competitiveness. Beyond projects, the World Bank has supported policy and expenditure reforms in 37 countries. And this is helping governments to embed soil health in extension services, in strengthening farmer organizations, and creating markets that reward sustainability. And as I mentioned, new carbon markets and sustainability finance instruments are emerging. These are rewarding farmers for increasing soil organic carbon, which has turned soil, which was once, an invisible asset, now to a tradable one. So as we look at the global level, there are some few lessons that I would like to share. First, science must connect with incentives. Farmers are more willing to adopt soil-friendly practices when they can see that it will bring them better income. Because if their cost increases, they're not going to adopt the good practices. So second, markets are increasingly rewarding sustainability. Linking soil health to certification, branding, or carbon credits creates real value. Buyers and consumers are willing to pay for more produce that is traceable, environmentally responsible, and nutritional rich. So I think the program of Gujarat to push organic products are actually a good way to prosperity, because that's also providing higher prices to farmers. Third, digital tools are transforming agriculture. Drones, sensors, AI are turning soil data into practical inputs that farmers can use. These tools show exactly what condition the soil is, help buyers trace where the food comes from, and even allow farmers to earn carbon credits, as I mentioned, as they build up organic matter. In short, digital tools have made soil quality visible, traceable, and even tradable in new markets. And I think Gujarat has already started it. I went to visit the Krishi Pagati Command and Control Data Center, this huge amount of data that can now be used to improve the productivity and competitiveness of agriculture in Gujarat. Fourth, commodity-led and participatory approaches are essential. Programs that engage local communities, farmer groups, and women's collectives tend to deliver more lasting results. Empowering women through land rights, access to finance, education, consistently enhances productivity, improves soil management, and strengthens market outcomes. And finally, as mentioned before me, policy matters. The World Bank studies show that embedding soil health in national extension programs, incentivizing diversified crop rotation, supporting public-private partnerships, and repurposing agriculture subsidies towards sustainability are some of the most effective levers for large-scale change. So this brings me back to Gujarat. Fewer places are better positioned to lead on this agenda. So Gujarat has positioned itself as India's leading export corridor with world-class ports, strong logistics, reliable energy, and advanced IT systems. Gujarat already ranks first among Indian states in terms of agri-exports. It has the necessary infrastructure to move from healthy soils to high-value exports. And healthy soils enable farmers and agribusinesses to produce higher quality, perishable crops that meet international standards, which is crucial for tapping into global markets. With strong international connections and a large diaspora, Gujarat is also uniquely positioned to leverage its global networks for knowledge exchange, investments, and market access. The World Bank stands ready to support Gujarat in realizing this potential and remains fully committed to the state's development in alignment with the Prime Minister's Narendra Modi's vision for rural prosperity. Together, we can build digital soil-to-shelf platforms, pilots soil-smart value chains that reward farmers with price premiums for sustainable practices, and mobilize global knowledge and innovative finance to scale these efforts. So with the spirit of innovation and strong institutions, Gujarat has the chance to show the world that soil health is not just an environmental priority, but a powerful pathway to prosperity. And the World Bank is really proud to be a partner in this journey. Thank you very much. Abhar, Dhanyawad.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dina. We are truly grateful for your comprehensive overview. Now I request and invite Mr. Arjun Goyal, Wageningen University, to deliver his address on From Silos to Systems, Creating Integrated Agriculture Value Chains. Let's welcome Mr. Goyal with a round of applause.
Thank you, first of all, the government of Gujarat for inviting us. Wageningen happens to be a very complex organization as the world understands, but the world understands Wageningen as a food valley of the world. But for us who work at Wageningen, it's a complex ecosystem comprising of different parts. So I'll try my best to educate India and Gujarat government more about this university and the research center so that there is more close collaboration between the two institutions. So good afternoon to all the honorable ministers, senior officers of Government of Gujarat, respective representatives from the World Bank, distinguished guests from academia, industry, and my fellow colleagues. It is my privilege to represent Wageningen Food and Bio-Based Research, which is part of Wageningen University in Research in the Netherlands. It's a global ecosystem where we work with around 2,000 scientists and 2,000 professors, comprising of around 6,000 students in one campus that has also got 2,000 companies, a large ecosystem of investors and students as well. Day in and day out, we work with one purpose, which is to improve the quality of life through food, nature, and environment. I sincerely thank Government of Gujarat and Gujarat Industries Corporation for this opportunity. Gujarat to us has always been a pioneer from white revolution that made India self-sufficient in milk to entrepreneurial spirit that has transformed the villages into industrial clusters. If any one Indian state can demonstrate what a systems approach is, it is in practice implemented in Gujarat. At the Wageningen University and Research, we have 5 broad research themes. One is the climate, second is feeding the world, then is circular economy, biodiversity, food, and healthy lifestyle, and artificial intelligence. This is an overview of the campus that you look at. The red building comprises of the university. The university focuses on the education courses, the BSc, MSc, and the PhD courses. And the rest of the research buildings that you see are scattered around the campus. A very beautiful campus. A warm invitation to all the representatives to come to Wageningen and be a part of our ecosystem. The university comprises of around 13,000 students, 2,000 PhD candidates, 3,500 faculty and staff, close to revenue about €500,000. It ranks amongst the best in the world for almost like 100 years. The Wageningen Research equally has 3,500 scientists, revenue around €400 million. Yeah. So whenever we think about the systems approach, and I changed my presentation because I wanted to present something new to my audience from the regular presentation that we have. The organization itself is a systems thinking where the university and the research has come together to foster science innovation in agriculture, food, and bio-life sciences. You look at the green part is the university part. The blue part is the research part. And there is cross-sectoral collaboration. The institution functions such as in a contract management way where every part of science can be contracted from a client. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say a lot of our stakeholders have spoken about post-harvest losses. When I speak about post-harvest losses in the field of potato or any other crop that we have, I would naturally think about refrigeration or logistics. But when we at Wageningen think of a project, we think from a systems perspective. We think that in post-harvest losses, you also need material packaging. You need to think about biodiversity losses. You need to think about the impact on the environment. So when we try to create a project, we look from a very holistic point of view, not just one linear way to solve a particular problem. Now, why we move from silos to systems? Agriculture across the world has evolved into silos. All of us work across different silos. Production, storage, logistics, finance, and policy were designed always as separate verticals. We all know the phrase farm to fork, but too often our farmers remain far from the fork, disconnected with the consumers, the exporter, and the policymaker. For instance, a farmer in Banaskantha may grow high quality vegetables, but without cold chain access, the produce reaches market with 30% loss. A processor in Mehsana may import the same product again to maintain the export commitments. Now, this duplication and inefficiency, not due to lack of effort, but due to lack of systemic coordination between different stakeholders. Globally, we have seen and we have reports that Wageningen has published that around 30 to 40% of post-harvest produce is lost before reaching the consumers. And at Wageningen, we think that it is better to save 5% of crops getting wasted rather than to increase 5% of the yield on the farms. It is more expensive, more investments are needed to increase the yields rather than to save the losses and the wastages. Now, that is not just statistics, it's a loss of climate resources, a lot of water resources that go into this system, energy as well as the human labor. If food loss were a country, it would be the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases up after the US and the China. So when we speak about silos to systems, we are talking about integrating all the broken pieces into one rhythm so that the production, the research, the logistics, and the social and the governance policy, they flow like together a river instead of remaining isolated ponds. Now, when we look at defining the systems approach, what does it really mean in practice? It means that every actor in the system, whether it's a smallholder farmer, the processor, the financer, as well as the policy maker, works not in competition, not in silos, but in coordination with each other. Now, let me illustrate this with an example from Netherlands. In Netherlands, we have a green port model, similar to what we experience at the airports and the seaports. The Netherlands is about 270 times smaller than India in land area, smaller than Gujarat. It is actually smaller than the size of Uttarakhand. Yet, it is the second largest agriculture exporter in the world. How? Now, not through the subsidies or excess land, but through systems design. The Netherlands has created what we call as green ports, regional ecosystems that bring together farmers, universities, logistics providers, and exporters into one single unit, a geographical and an institutional network. Take the example of a green port, which is based out of Oostland near Rotterdam. Here, the farmers grow tomatoes, peppers, and flowers inside advanced closed greenhouses. Researchers test new climate-resilient varieties. Logistics hubs near Rotterdam port handle the cold storage and export packaging. And financial institutions provide targeted credit and insurance. Now, all these activities happen inside a 50-kilometer radius. So, a tomato which is harvested in the morning can reach to a supermarket in Germany the very next day with full traceability and minimal wastages. Now, this is not just a pure luck, not just a thinking, but it's a concrete, deliberate management science which is applied to agriculture and food industry. The 5-link framework that we use while defining or designing a project at Wageningen is we visualize the systems transformation through a 5-link framework, a chain from soil to shelf. Soil and inputs, which are the very foundation. The healthy soils means healthy systems. Regenerative and precision agriculture supported by digital soil mapping and organic inputs ensures sustainability at the very root level. In Gujarat, the soil health card has done tremendous work in increasing the micro irrigation coverage, which are already positive signs in that direction. The second part is the production, the smart farms. Drone sensors and AI advisories are no longer luxury tools. They are the new plows and irrigation canals of modern agriculture. When farmers receive weather forecast, pest alerts, fertilizer advice directly on their phone, productivity rises and the risk involved in these activities falls. The third part is the aggregation and logistics, the missing middle. This is where most of the value we feel at Wageningen is lost. We empower, or we want to empower, the smallholder farmers organizations as well as the farmer producer organizations in developing cold chain hubs and creating regional collection centers. Through this, the Gujarat can actually waste or cut down half of its wastages. The fourth part is the processing and the value addition, which is the engine of growth. Agro-processing units and food parks are not just industries, they are employment generators. For every 1 crore rupees invested into food processing, nearly 20 direct indirect jobs are created. Gujarat can actually strengthen linkages between rural clusters and MSMEs through innovation grants and incubation support. The fifth and the most important part is the markets and finance, which is the multiplier. Digital traceability, e-market platforms, and blended finance instruments attract investors and reduce risk. Value chains, we believe, should become value systems where banks, cooperatives, and export agencies align towards the common goal. Each of these 5 links reinforces the other. If one breaks, the chain weakens. But if all 5 connect and they work together, the systems can achieve resilience, and not just industrial outputs, but also ecological and institutional resilience. We have tried to create a small example and an illustration, and let me here caution that it's just an illustration that we have thought along with my colleagues. Gujarat already holds a lot of ingredients of this transformation. You have seen what happens when the integration succeeds. The Amul Daily Revolution connected farmers, cooperatives, transport, processing, and the retail system into one. The same spirit can now redefine the horticulture, seeds, and the floriculture and other industries in Gujarat. Imagine there are 3 connected clusters: the Banaskantha Mehsana Horticulture Corridor, connecting the farmer groups, cold storages, and processing hubs to urban markets. The second one, the Kutch Spices and the Seed Cluster, which integrates R&D, export logistics, and port connectivity at Kandla and Mundra. And so to say, the Surat Floriculture Green Port, which can link the air cargo terminals connecting Indian growers directly to the global flower auctions. Together, these can form Gujarat's first agri-innovation corridors. Each region, hypothetically in Gujarat, would specialize and yet remain connected, sharing logistics, digital platforms, and finance. This, we believe, for Gujarat will be a systems thinking in action. The 4 dimensions of integration. To make this real, we must build 4 kinds of integration, like layers of one strong pyramid. The physical integration, the base layer. The roads, warehouses, and cold chains are the physical spine of any development. Without them, nothing moves. The second is the data integration and the intelligence layer. Imagine every logistics nodes, farmer groups, and ports sharing real-time data, not just about prices, but also quality, carbon footprint, and demand. This makes agriculture not only productive, but also predictable. The third one is the institutional integration, the governance layer. The departments, the various departments of government, the departments of agriculture, industry, cooperatives, and skill development working in silos leads to overlap. But when they co-plan the policy, the systems will breathe into sync. The financial integration is the 4th part, which is the engine. Blended finance that brings together NABARD, private investors, carbon credit, ensures capital flows through the chain, not just to one node. The physical journey and the physical integration, sir, will only start one part of the journey. The data in the institutions will sustain it. And finally, the financial power will actually sustain the entire system. For Wageningen, we see this as a very transformative relationship. Wageningen is very important, is honored to be here, to be presented here. We want to collaborate with Government of Gujarat, the World Bank. Our joint work can include things such as co-designing climate-smart and export-ready agri-value chains, adapting the Dutch cluster governance and thinking circular economy into Indian and Gujarat conditions, supporting the digital traceability and carbon accounting systems that open new green finance channels. Together, the government of Gujarat and Wageningen can turn the region into Green Port of India, a model that other states and nations can actually emulate. So the journey from the silos to systems is not merely an agriculture reform. It's a philosophy that we believe is of collaboration. It's about connecting the farms with factories, yes, but also connecting the minds with the missions. When Gujarat aligns its institutions, infrastructure, and innovation, it will not only feed India, but it will also inspire the world. Because systems thinking transforms not only agriculture, it will and it should transform the very nature of governance, markets, and also the mindsets. Finally, I would say that let us integrate our knowledge, our infrastructure, and our intent so that every farmer, every researcher in the state, and every policy maker together, they move in one rhythm. Because when Gujarat will lead with systems thinking, India leads with global confidence, sir. Thank you very much.
Arjun sir, would request you to please take your seat on the dais. Please. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for explaining in detail all the different stages to be considered and managed to get the best and optimum output. Thank you. I request Mr. Ernest Baith, Principal Operations Officer, International Finance Corporation, to deliver special address on financing agri transformation, IFC's global lessons on value-added agriculture. Let's have a round of applause, everybody.
Hello. Hope this works. Hi, my name's Ernest Bath. I work for IFC, the International Finance Corporation. And when I was asked to speak here at Vibrant Gujarat, I was particularly excited. And the reason I was excited is because Gujarat is the first state that I came to when I visited India some 25 years ago. I used to work for an agricultural cooperative in the United States, an agricultural cooperative whose name is Land O'Lakes. We made the #1 brand of butter. We had a big feed company, big cheese producer. I had a very well-known brand name across the United States. And I had come to India with a team to talk to NDDB, National Dairy Development Board, and some cooperative enterprises in Gujarat about prospective tie-ups, about prospective opportunities between their enterprises and Land O'Lakes. So it was very exciting to me to come back to Gujarat 25 years later to see what's happened. And as you'll see, what I made sure is I placed American dairy cows on the slide because these are the same dairy cows that Land O'Lakes used to have and make for our butter. So I just wanted to point that out. So I want to let you know what IFC is. IFC is we're a member of the World Bank Group. You heard Dina speak. She's from the IBRD, the International Bank from Reconstruction and Development, and IDA. That makes the World Bank. There's MEGA, there's ICSID, and then there's IFC. In IFC, we work only with the private sector. We invest in companies around the world. We advise on private sector development. We don't deal with government. The World Bank does that. We deal with the private sector. IFC, we've got about, since our formation in the 1950s, we've got about $354 billion invested in emerging markets. We've got about 4,300 staff around the world, AAA rated, and we've got a committed portfolio. This is old numbers. It says there's 70 billion. It's about 80 billion. One of the things that makes IFC very unique and that helps us to, as we're working in agriculture and other sectors to help to transform those sectors, are our performance standards. And our performance standards are around 8 areas. Environmental and social management system, a company has to have that. And then these performance standards deal with community, biodiversity conservation, labor practices, cultural heritage, land acquisition and resettlement, resource efficiency, and indigenous people. And we apply these performance standards against any investment we make. And we do a good job of this. And this is one of the things that makes IFC very unique, different from investment banks that you may know, and very, very committed to sustainability. In the IFC's agribusiness strategy, we've got 3 pillars. One of the pillars is around food security, increase the food supply, especially from most efficient competitive regions, places like Gujarat. Number 2 is enhance inclusive growth and shared prosperity. That's not something that all investment banks do, but that's part of our mission. And then we make sustainability a business driver. As Dina and some of the other people talked about, the markets around the world are looking for more and more sustainability. They're not necessarily rewarding it in all cases, but they're excluding non-sustainable production in a lot of cases. Right now in agribusiness, we have a portfolio of about over $4 billion in 240 agribusiness projects around the world. This will show you where we are. And I want to emphasize, we don't invest in the United States. We don't invest in Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand. We invest in emerging markets and developing countries. That's our DNA. In our last fiscal year, we committed over $2.8 billion in new long-term investments in the agribusiness and forestry sectors around the world. So agribusiness and forestry is a big, big portfolio driver for us. In India, here are some of the companies that we've invested in recently: Greenlam, Netafim India, Parag Dairy, Dudla, Suguna, DCM Shriram, Olam, Lucid Colloids. These are all companies that we've made investments in the agricultural side of the business. Some of these companies you'll see as big conglomerates, but we've invested in their agricultural business through these investments that we've done here. Another thing that makes IFC very unique is our agribusiness advisory, our upstream and agribusiness advisory. For us, upstream is longer-term project development, longer-term business development, where we come in with a number of the tools that IFC can bring to a problem, can bring to an issue to develop bankable deals. Then once we invest in a company, once we invest in a value chain, we're able to bring in expertise in these 4 areas: sustainable crop production, sustainable proteins, smallholder supply chains, and food safety and food loss prevention. So IFC, within the companies that we work with and within the projects and deals that we work to develop, we're trying to work with our clients all the way from production to the consumer's table. One of the things that we do is we try to write about and publicize and share the knowledge that we've gained in these 65 years of investing around the world. And this is the 3rd edition of a book on smallholder value chains that we put out. We put that out last year. I think this presentation is going to be available, but if you go to the QR code, you can download this book. Again, it's the 3rd edition of our Working with Smallholders handbook, and it captures lessons from around the world, and there's several in here from India. I encourage you to go to the QR code and download the handbook if you have a chance. In India, we've got probably 8 projects going on. There's 4 of them I'll tell you about very briefly. We work along with Bayer and Netafim with the Better Life Farming Alliance in several locations in India. IFC and Bayer were founding members of the Better Life Farming Alliance. And what that does is it's an opportunity to take a holistic view of working in the supply chain. We work primarily with input suppliers that are working at the end of the earth in many cases, at the far, far reaches of rural India to supply farmers, to supply the communities with the kind of inputs that are necessary. We work with DCM Shahram in their sugar operations. We help to strengthen sugarcane supply to 4 of its mills from around 200,000 farmers in its command area and improving outreach of their agricultural extensionists. One of the things we're proud of is that we achieved over 500 billion liters of water savings in one of the projects that we worked with DCM Shahram on. We're now working with EID Pari. EID Pari, similar issues with them in the sugar supply chain. We're working in the case of EID Pari to develop agri-entrepreneurs that can supply the inputs to the farmers that supply Shahram with the raw sugarcane. We also work with Olam. Olam, we've done a few projects with them, including sugarcane and including rice and wheat. We've had remarkable achievements with Olam, and Olam has been a global investee of us, and we've worked with them on our advisory side around the world. So we know Olam very well. The reason that I tell you about these companies is because they're the anchor companies that IFC works for. We tend to work with larger companies, a Pari, an Olam, a DCM Shahram, and through those companies is how we get to the smallholders that we write about in this book. I was asked to tell a little bit about some of the work that we've done outside of India, outside of Asia, or outside of South Asia. So I wanted to leave you with, I think I've got 3 stories here. One of the investments that we made was with Alcara Dairy in Colombia. They were a client of ours since 2010, and we identified milk losses in the production processes, selected cost-efficient process projects to reduce energy and water consumption in the dairies, increase productivity and reduce the carbon footprint, and advise Alcara on potential investments in the best available technologies. In Vietnam, I know we had some participants from Vietnam earlier today, but from Vietnam, we worked with a company named McCormick with sustainable pepper. Pepper is spices are a very important commodity in Gujarat. A lot of the importers around the world are looking for sustainability within the products that they're importing. We helped McCormick with its pepper supply chain in Vietnam to achieve sustainability within the pepper that was being exported, to reduce maximum residue levels in the pepper so that it could be sold in developed markets, in high-income countries, returning more to the farmers that supply McCormick. In Ukraine, we've got a project after making a $73 million investment in Achun the first time and several investments since with food safety. So I wanted to show you that, across our experience, we're working everywhere from the farmer through the value chain all the way to the retailer and the consumer. Thank you very much. Olam Rice, I explained that a little bit. This was a project here in India. This is the last project that we've undertaken with Olam. Again, they've been a client since 2018. We've invested $175 million in them in India. Other locations around the world we've invested in them. And the focus is on farmer training, exclusively for women farmers and extension staff, and digital learning, helping to make sure that farmers are adopting the digital technology that's available out there. And as we've learned and as we've written about in this, it's quite hard to get farmers to adopt and use that digital technology. So I wanted to thank you for your time. This is me. There's a QR code if you want to get my phone number. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the insights. ટૂંક સમયમાં આપણી વચ્ચે આપણા માનનીય મુખ્યમંત્રી શ્રી ભૂપેન્દ્રભાઈ પટેલ જોડાવા જઈ રહ્યા છે. તો સર્વેને નમ્ર વિનંતી કરીએ, ફરી એક વખત આપનો જે ફોન છે એને વાઇબ્રન્ટ મોડ કે પછી સાયલન્ટ મોડ ઉપર રાખી દઈએ. આપણી વચ્ચે ઉપસ્થિત એમિનન્ટ સ્પીકર્સ એમને આપણે સ્મૃતિચિહ્ન આપીને આ પ્રસંગની યાદગીરી ભેટ આપીશું. Request you to kindly hand over the mementos to the dignitaries. We are very thankful to all the speakers for sparing your valuable time and being with us. So, kindly accept a small token of appreciation as a gratitude. Thank you so much, sir. તાળીઓનો વિવેક રાખીએ. દરેક જણ જે અહીંયા આગળ ઉપસ્થિત છે એ દેશ દુનિયાથી અલગ અલગ જગ્યાએથી અહીંયા આગળ આવ્યા છે, કારણ કે આપણી સાથે આ સબ્જેક્ટ ઉપર વાત કરી શકે, આપણને એમની ઇન્સાઇટ્સ, એમના આઈડિયાઝ આપણી સાથે એક્સચેન્જ કરી શકે. આ મોમેન્ટને, આ પળને આપણે તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી વધાવવી જોઈએ. એવરીબડી કમ ઓન, લેટ્સ હિયર ઇટ ફોર લાઉડર એન્ડ લાઉડર ફોર એવરી dignitaries that we have on the dais. Thank you. Thank you so much. વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત રિજનલ કોન્ફરન્સ 2025ના સેમિનાર્સમાં ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગના વિવિધ પાસાઓ પર આપણે ચર્ચા કરી રહ્યા છીએ. ટૂંક સમયમાં ખેડૂતને વિકાસમાં ઉપયોગી થાય એવી અલગ અલગ સમજૂતી કરારનું એક્સચેન્જ કરવામાં આવશે. એની સાથે જ આજે મંચ આપણને આજે ઉપસ્થિત થયું છે એમાં ખૂબ બધી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી રહી છે. B2B, B2G મીટિંગ્સ, ઉદ્યોગને રોકાણકારો અને સરકારના અધિકારીઓ સાથે સીધી વાત કરવાની આપણે તક મળી રહી છે. તો આ તકને આપણે ઓપ્ટિમમ લેવલે ઉપયોગ કરીએ એ આપણું લક્ષ્ય હોવું જોઈએ કે તમારે કોઈ બી ક્વેરી હોય, કોઈ ક્વેશ્ચન્સ હોય, કોઈ કન્સર્ન્સ હોય, એ તમે અહીંયા આગળ ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટના મંચસ્થ લોકો ઉપસ્થિત છે ત્યારે એમને વાત કરી શકો છો. 9 અને 10 ઓક્ટોબરના આ 2 દિવસમાં અલગ અલગ ટોટલ 14 સેમિનારનું આયોજન કરવામાં આવ્યું છે, જેના અલગ અલગ સબ્જેક્ટ્સ છે: નેચરલ ફાર્મિંગ, વેરહાઉસિંગ અને લોજિસ્ટિક્સ, ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગ, એગ્રીટેક, ડેરી ડેવલપમેન્ટ, સહકારી સંસ્થાઓ, કૃષિ નિકાસ, એગ્રી ફાઇનાન્સ, ક્લાઇમેટ ફાઇનાન્સ, ચોખા અને બટાટા પર વિશેષ ચર્ચા, જેનું લિસ્ટ પણ અમે લોકોએ આપને સુપ્રત કરેલું છે. સો આ જે ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી આપણા માટે સરકારે ઊભી કરી છે એનો આપણે લાભ લઈએ મેક્સિમમ. ખાલી સેમિનાર જ નહીં, પરંતુ 9 તારીખથી લઈને 12 ઓક્ટોબર 2025 સુધી અંદાજે 3000 ચોરસ મીટર જગ્યામાં કૃષિ, ખેડૂત કલ્યાણ અને સહકાર વિભાગનું એક્ઝિબિશન પેવિલિયન પણ ઊભું કરવામાં આવ્યું છે, કે જેમાં વિવિધ કૃષિ, ખેડૂત કલ્યાણ અને સહકાર વિભાગ હસ્તકની કચેરીઓ, લીડિંગ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયાલિસ્ટ જેવા કે અમૂલ, મેકેન તથા ફાર્મ મિકેનિઝમ દ્વારા પોતાની ઉત્પાદિત પ્રોડક્ટ્સ અને મશીનરીનું પ્રદર્શન કરવામાં આવશે. ગુજરાત સરકારના કૃષિ, ખેડૂત કલ્યાણ અને સહકાર વિભાગ દ્વારા આયોજિત આ સેમિનારમાં કૃષિના વિવિધ પાસા વિશે વિસ્તારપૂર્વક અને મહત્વપૂર્ણ ચર્ચા કરવામાં આવી રહી છે. ગુજરાતના ખેડૂતો દ્વારા સ્થાનિક કક્ષાએ વિવિધ પ્રકારના પાકોનું વાવેતર નવીન ટેકનોલોજીથી થાય, તેમજ ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગ ક્ષેત્રે નવી ટેકનોલોજી, મૂલ્યવર્ધન અને બજાર વિસ્તરણમાં રહેલી વિશાળ સંભાવનાઓને ધ્યાનમાં રાખીને વાઇબ્રન્ટ ગુજરાત રિજનલ કોન્ફરન્સ અંતર્ગત એગ્રો અને ફૂડ પ્રોસેસિંગને લગતી પ્રાઇવેટ કંપની સાથે ગુજરાત સરકાર મેમોરેન્ડમ ઓફ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ કરી વિકાસની નવી તકો ઊભી કરવા સજ્જ છે. I request all the honorable dignitaries to come forward to witness this progressive moment, and also would like to request Gujarat Agro Industries Corporation, Gujarat Rajya ના મેનેજિંગ ડિરેક્ટર શ્રી વિકાસ ખરાડીજી IAS to come forward for exchange of our views. શ્રી વિજય ખરાડી IAS, મેનેજિંગ ડિરેક્ટર ગુજરાત એગ્રો ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીઝ કોર્પોરેશન, ગુજરાત રાજ્ય, આપણી સમક્ષ અહીંયા ઉપસ્થિત છે. ત્યારે સૌ પ્રથમ હું ઇન્વાઇટ કરું છું મેક પટેલ ફૂડ્સ પ્રાઇવેટ લિમિટેડના ડિરેક્ટર જિગ્નેશ પટેલ આ મંચ ઉપર આવવા માટે. મહેસાણા જિલ્લાના વિજાપુર ડિસ્ટ્રિક્ટમાં જ્યાં પ્રોજેક્ટ થકી તેમનું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ રૂપિયા 500 કરોડનું રહેશે. તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી આપણે મેક પટેલ ફૂડ્સ પ્રાઇવેટ લિમિટેડના ડિરેક્ટર જિગ્નેશ પટેલને વધાવીએ. પાટણ જિલ્લાના ડિસ્ટ્રિક્ટ સિદ્ધપુર ખાતે થનારા પ્રોજેક્ટ માટે ફાર્મ ટન ફૂડ્સ પ્રાઇવેટ લિમિટેડના રોહિત માલીને બોલાવીએ છીએ સ્ટેજ ઉપર. એમને આમંત્રિત કરીએ છીએ, જેમાં એમનું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ રહેશે રૂપિયા 580 કરોડ. તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી ફાર્મ ટન ફૂડ્સ પ્રાઇવેટ લિમિટેડ મિસ્ટર રોહિત માલીને આપણે આવકારીએ. જેમ મેં પહેલાં પણ કહ્યું એમ આપણે વિકાસની ગાથા લખવા જઈ રહ્યા છે અને એમના સફળ પ્રણેતાઓ જ્યારે આપણી સમક્ષ અહીંયા ઉપસ્થિત છે ત્યારે જ્યારે આ કરાર થઈ રહ્યા છે, નવી શરૂઆત થઈ રહી છે, ત્યારે આ પહેલને આપણે તાળીઓના ગડગાડતા વધાવીએ, એનો એટલો વિવેક રાખીએ કે આ શરૂઆત જે થઈ રહી છે આપની સમક્ષ, એમાં આપણે સહભાગી બનીએ. અરવલ્લી જિલ્લાના મોડાસા ડિસ્ટ્રિક્ટના ગ્રીન ફે ફાર્મ ફૂડ પ્રાઇવેટ લિમિટેડ ના શ્રી ફૂલચંદ કચ્છવાને હું અહીંયા સ્ટેજ પર આમંત્રિત કરું છું. આ પ્રોજેક્ટમાં તેમનું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ રહેશે ₹165 કરોડ. તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી ગ્રીન ફે ફાર્મ ફૂડ પ્રાઇવેટ લિમિટેડના ચેરમેન શ્રી ફૂલચંદ કચ્છવાને આપણે આવકારીએ. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for doing the honors. Now I would like to request Director Agriculture Shri R.P. Rajput to come forward for the MOU exchange with Ganpat University. એક સ્ટ્રેટેજિક પાર્ટનરશિપ થવા જઈ રહી છે ગણપત યુનિવર્સિટી સાથે, જેના માટે હું ડૉક્ટર મહેન્દ્ર શર્મા, ગ્રુપ પ્રો ચાન્સેલરને સ્ટેજ પર આમંત્રિત કરું છું. તાળીઓના ગડગડાટથી આપણે આ પળને હંમેશના માટે યાદગાર બનાવીએ. ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. નવી તકો અને ઉજળા ભવિષ્યના આ હસ્તાક્ષરને ફરી એક વખત જોરદાર તાળીઓથી આવકારીએ. સર્વે ઉપસ્થિત મહાનુભાવોનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર આપનો અમૂલ્ય સમય આપવા બદલ. ગુજરાત એગ્રો ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીઝ કોર્પોરેશન ગુજરાત રાજ્યના મેનેજિંગ ડિરેક્ટર શ્રી વિજય ખરાડીને વોટ ઓફ થેન્ક્સ ડિલિવર કરવા માટે આપણે આમંત્રિત કરીએ છીએ.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, esteemed international delegates, industry leaders, dear participants, farmers, agripreneurs, press media, team and colleagues. As we conclude this enriching session on soil to self, integrating sustainability and profitability across the value chain, it's my privilege to extend heartfelt thanks to everyone who made today's deliberation meaningful. A special acknowledgement to Honorable Sri Raghavji Bhai Patel sir, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry, Cow Breeding and Fisheries, Government of Gujarat, for his visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to Gujarat's agricultural transformation, sustainable agriculture and farmer prosperity. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to Dr. Anju Sharma, IAS, ACS Agriculture, Farmers Welfare and Cooperative Department for gracing us with the welcome address and setting the perfect tone for today's deliberations. Our sincere thanks to Sri Abhishek Dev, IAS Chairman of APEDA, for his insightful special address that highlighted the crucial linkages in our agriculture value chain. We are immensely grateful to Mr. Simon Hack, Director General of the International Potato Center, for sharing innovation that can transform resilient, inclusive agriculture value chains. Your global perspective on potato value chains has been truly enlightening. I also would like to thank Mr. Sachin Sharma, Agribusiness ITC Vice President Channel and ITC Agribusiness Division. Thank you for your special address on practical business applications in sustainable agriculture. We are thankful to Mr. Zosimo Santos Rocha, Officer in charge of Asia and the Pacific Service and Senior Agribusiness Officer, Investment Center FAO, for sharing valuable insights on global trends in agriculture value chain. Our appreciation to Ms. Dina Umali Diningar, Regional Practice Director, South Asia Plant Department, the World Bank, for illuminating the crucial lessons on linking soil health to market value. Also thank to Mr. Arjun Goel from Wageningen University. Thank you for presenting the innovative concept of creating integrated agriculture value chains from silos to systems. Mr. Ernest Beth, Principal Operation Officers from International Finance Corporation, your insights on agri transformation and IFC's global lessons on value-added agriculture have been invaluable. I would also like to thank all the participants who engaged actively during question and answer session and MOU exchanging ceremony, making this session truly interactive and productive. Finally, I thank each and everyone in the audience for your patience, hearing, active participation and valuable contribution to the discussion. Your patience and engagement have made this session meaningful and memorable. To our organizing team, volunteers, technical support staff, everyone working behind the scenes, the seamless event is testament to your dedication. To all participants, thank you so much for your active engagement and commitment to building resilient and sustainable agriculture value chain. Thank you so much.
થેન્ક યુ સર, થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. ફરી એક વખત જોરદાર તાળીઓ થઈ જાય આપણા મંચસ્થ મહાનુભાવો માટે. ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. થેન્ક યુ ઓલ સો મચ, ઓલ ધ એમિનન્ટ સ્પીકર્સ ફોર સ્પેરિંગ યોર વેલ્યુએબલ ટાઈમ એન્ડ being with us and sharing the insights. Thank you sir, thank you so much. So we here conclude this session and I request everybody to, I shall see you all at Block E, room number 209 for the Agripreneur પરિસંવાદ. Agripreneur સંવાદ થવા જઈ રહ્યો છે. બિલ્ડિંગ નંબર બ્લોક E, રૂમ નંબર 209, 209 બ્લોક Eમાં એગ્રીપ્રેન્યોલ સંવાદ થવા જઈ રહ્યો છે, જેમાં અચૂકથી તમે ભાગ લો. થેન્ક યુ ઓલ સો મચ.